is up, everybody? It is Wednesday, July 6, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan. I'm here. You're here. And Nick is back. And Nick, are you going to be a robot this week? Or are you going to pretend that you're not a robot? Even though I think we all know secretly, deep down, you are a robot inside of a human body.
When have I ever actually pretended to be a robot? When have I actually ever gone along with this joke? It's a horrible, horrible joke.
Well, see, you say that, but, I keep bringing it up every week for a reason. So, like stereotypes exist for some defined purpose. So you have to be a robot, Nick. You have to be.
No, they don't. Stereotypes exist because people are stupid. Stop being
Are you
stupid.
saying I'm stupid, Nick?
We've made an entire show about why stereotypes are stupid. We did an entire damn show.
Are you saying I'm stupid, Nick?
I'm saying you're stupid.
I'm saying you're a robot. But anyway, on to actual stuff. There is something I want to read to our wonderful, beautiful, amazing audience. Monday, of course, was Independence Day in the United States. Great day, wonderful, amazing day. But also, we lost a true, not really just an American treasure, but a world treasure. Mr. Elie Wiesel. Now, if you don't know who Elie Wiesel is, you might want to look him up. But actually, you know what? I'll tell you. There is a photograph of the concentration camp. I believe it was Buchenwald. And I actually wish I had gotten the picture for the show. I didn't. I'm sorry. But we'll post it to our Facebook page, most likely, so you can see this. Anyway, in the picture, it's showing Jewish prisoners all in racks, and of course, there's one, like, it's a very well-known photograph, okay? There's a prisoner who's standing up, and it was taken by some American soldiers. In there is Elie Wiesel. He survived a concentration camp. Everyone he knew was murdered by the Nazis, and he died over the weekend. And there is a wonderful quote for him that I think kind of sums up his legacy. And he said, I believe firmly and profoundly that anyone who listens to a witness becomes a witness. So those who have... I'm sorry, I can't read my writing. Those who hear us, and those who read us, those who learn something from us, they will continue to be witnesses for us. Until now, they did it with us. Then soon, they will do it for us. It's one of those make you think type things, because now that he's gone, that is at least, because survivors of the Holocaust, die fairly often. They're very old people, Let's not get, like, the youngest of them is probably 70 at this point, maybe that young. I'm not sure, but anyway, they're dying off. So it's important, just as with anyone who's older or who has a disease that may not be here much longer, whatever, that you listen to him, you learn from, because we can learn from Mr. Wiesel's experiences, those experiences of his and everyone else who survived the Holocaust. And like he said, we become a witness. Like, we remember what happened to the people that were here before us, so we move on to prevent it from happening in the future.
Which is pretty profound to think about. It's always sad to lose someone from that time. And I mean, as the years go on, it's just there are so few that remain. And it's just sad to think about.
It is, and I think what makes it a little more sad about Mr. Wiesel is even he questioned, did he have the right to be the voice for everyone who died? Yes, you did. You absolutely did, but that was kind of how we went into Independence Day this year, and holy shit, has the world just apparently gone insane since this weekend, Nick.
Yeah, there's just been a lot of weird things that have happened.
But yeah, okay, just to start off now, America is now, well, if you go by what the common everyday person considers it, America is now 240 years old as of like 2 days ago.
She's still pretty young.
Yeah, because actually, America is 500 nearly 500 years younger than the video for the Wolfstarger Hexenbrut. Nick, I don't know if you've seen it, but posted the video to our Facebook page over the weekend, and what it is, it's the most amazing thing. I I have loved Peter Fox for a long time, but I did not know about the song Schudeldein and Speck, which translated is shake your bacon, you like shake your ass, you know. Anyway, it's a video of these women in this town called Wolfhagen, and they dress up as witches every year, and they dance around a fire, and they have like this festival. But the town turned like 500 years old this year or something like that.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, and I saw the video. It was one of the more fun dances that I've seen lately.
It's possibly the greatest thing on the internet right now.
Possibly.
I mean, like, second only to our show, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe, I don't know, maybe one of our friend shows.
You mean, oh, yeah, speaking of birthdays, Sarah and Cassie's Nerdy Adventure, the other podcast that we have referenced like a dozen times now, today is Sarah's birthday. Go to their Facebook page, tell her happy birthday. Also, Shayra, someone who has not been on our show yet, but I believe I've mentioned a dozen times. She's a definite friend of the show, definite supporter of the show. Yesterday was her birthday. We forgot it because we didn't really forget. We didn't do a show yesterday because we didn't do it Monday because it was a holiday. Anyway, happy birthday to them and happy not birthday to America. But while we're talking about America and the things that make us great, I want to talk for a minute about how can I say this and not sound like an asshole. I can't. I want to talk about the flower crown wearing faggoty looking little piece of bullshit cocksucking asshole who burned the American flag. Now, why am I phrasing it that way? You know, why have I made a very passionate defense before about flag burning being free speech? It's because this asshole deserves to be called that, okay? Here's the thing. Flag burning, according to the flag code, which is not an actual law, is a crime, okay? So this asshole was arrested for burning a flag. Now, here's the major thing here, okay? Usually when someone burns a flag and it's caught on film or whatever, they don't identify themselves. They just do it, you know, because like they're there, like they're wearing them. Like if you look, they're wearing like a mask, you know, whatever, okay? Unless they're in the Middle East, okay? This stupid son of a bitch puts on a little woven crown of flowers and stands in his front yard and has someone take a picture of him, and he posted it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else because he was so proud of burning the flag of the United States. Now, that's fine. The Supreme Court has announced that it has decided in several different cases that burning a flag is a form of protest, and protest is considered free speech. I get that. I'm all for that. The problem is, dumbass, you don't identify yourself, and then you don't do the stupid thing that you did, you fucking fruitcake, and send the pictures to the police department and say, look what I did. That's why he got arrested, because he taunted the police department with this shit on the 4th of July. You fucking moron.
I would like to say something about flag burning. I understand it is the people's right to burn the flag, and you are protected against by the First Amendment and several court rulings. However, if someone were to burn a flag in front of me, I will punch you in the face. I don't care if I go to jail for assault and battery. I will punch you in the goddamn face. And yeah, I would punch that guy in the face. And that's kind of all I have to say about it.
He just, see, that's the thing. He looks punchable. He looks punchable. Now, okay, look, I know a bunch of people who consider themselves hippies, okay? I know a bunch of people who are members of the LGBT community. Please understand, when I label this person what I am, it's purely out of anger. Like, it's a visual. No, I'm not going to apologize for it. You can call it hate speech if you want to. That's fine. Whatever. It's not okay. It's not fucking okay. Okay. Again, if you want to burn a flag, that's fine. I'll defend your right to do it. I have done it before. I have actually defended flag burning because the Supreme Court says that it's free speech. That's fine. But the Supreme Court has also said that burning a cross on someone's front yard is free speech. And I kind of, take a step back that point in time. Like, there's some things that are kind of muddled there when you want to bring them up. So if you want to burn a flag, it's fine. I don't give a shit. Please don't take pictures of it. Please don't post it to Instagram and Twitter. Please just don't do what this stupid asshole did, because then you're gonna get me pissed off. And I'm like, no. There's nothing. There's nothing patriotic about this, and like the visual image it presents is just, it pisses me off. I mean, like, I honestly wouldn't have, been upset if the police department decided to get him because he was burning a flag in the middle of a burn ban, because he's clearly standing on dried grass and leaves and shit. He could have caused, like, he could be an arsonist. How do you know? I'm being patriotic with my flower crown and in my front yard, and I'm gonna burn my house down. Yeah. Whatever, asshole. Whatever. No, it pisses me off.
And like I said, I will defend your right to burn the flag, but I will also punch you in the face. I will punch you in the damn face.
Okay, do you want to know what I won't defend?
What's that?
Oh, goddamn, okay. Over the weekend, Donald Trump, why, took to Twitter and released an image. It's Hillary Clinton, with money behind her, and a sign that says history, and a six-pointed star, traditionally the symbol of Judaism, that says the most corrupt candidate ever. It was taken down after it was noticed. It was a little like this was done on, I think, Sunday or Monday. Anyway, of course, it was noticed, and a little strange to think about. Like, why are you doing this? And but anyway, it was taken down and altered to be a circle. Now, I wouldn't have given a shit about this. I would not have cared. Honestly, I wouldn't have cared. It's like, whatever. It's a six-pointed star. I don't give a shit. Like, I've had conversations since it happened with people. I don't give a shit. Okay, it's a six-pointed star. It's a traditional symbol of Judaism. Okay, there's a reason I'm bringing up traditional symbol of Judaism, and that's because this image was, of course, searched for on the internet, and it was found, lo and behold, on a website of a group that is anti-Semitic, and they hate the Jews, and they're trying to compare Hillary to being a stereotypical Jew who's in charge of everything and trying to run the world, and because she takes money from Israel, and it's like on and on and on, like all this conspiracy theory bullshit about what's wrong with Hillary Clinton, and it was just, oops, taken by one of the staff members and posted to Donald Trump's Twitter as an attack against her. That's what I'm not going to defend. That's where I have a problem. because it was intended to be anti-Semitic to begin with, and now you're resharing it like, oh, I didn't know. It's like accidental racism. It no better yet, it's kind of like, okay, one of the
It
defenses,
is accidental racism at best.
except of course Judaism is not a race, it's a religion. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, um, one of the defenses
Well,
for
I could
this,
define it as a race.
one of the defenses that I have heard for this is that he has a Jewish friend. Okay, that's like saying I don't, like I'm not a racist. I have black friends. Okay, I know people who have actually said I'm not a racist. I have black friends. Okay, like I've probably even said it before. I'm sure I have. But usually that's said before you say some incredibly racist bullshit. Okay, it would be like saying I'm not a racist. I have black friends, and then someone says, "Well, what do you think about the black guy down the street?" I don't know that fucking nigger. I hope he dies. You know, it's like saying something like that. It's saying some stupid shit like that. It's not cool. It's not cool. And saying, I'm not racist. I have a Jewish friend. That's cool and all. You don't get to post a meme that was made by a website full of anti-Semitic assholes. It don't work that way.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's Donald Trump. What do you expect?
Um, some level of comprehension of understanding about what's going on, even if it's
You
the most basic level.
you expect way too much, sir.
I probably, well, look, I expect you to not be a robot one day, and that's just not going to happen. So I don't know.
Well, I expected us to start singing tradition from Fiddler on the Roof, talking
Look,
about this,
Nick,
but
we have just finished describing anti-Semitism in the presence of Donald Trump and a website that
that's
use
not
it.
anti-Semitism.
So
That
look,
was an
no, no,
awesome damn
no.
song.
It
That is one of
is,
the greatest damn songs
it is. But
ever.
Nick, we are not going to follow up. We are not going to follow up a discussion about Donald Trump hating the Jews by singing tradition. We're just not going to do that yet. Okay, sorry, not going to do that.
Tradition. It's okay to laugh.
God damn it, Nick. God damn.
I mean, it's tradition.
You know what else is tradition, Nick?
What's that?
Other than telling you to shut the fuck up, which I've been doing since episode one, and I enjoy it every time I say it. Voting and um, rebellion apparently in Great Britain. You know what? You know what? You know what? Okay, look, that's like the worst possible way to lead into this. But you mentioned the other day, or earlier today, rather, that you wanted to talk about the Brexit. So, what about it again? Other than the fact that the British pound is now worth like $1.28, which is the lowest it's been in nearly 40 years.
Well, there's a lot of interesting things going on over there, actually. One of the funniest things I'd say is that apparently they don't have enough negotiators to start doing deals with other countries. So they actually have to look in other countries for negotiators. They have to bring in immigrants, which is what part of Brexit was about, in order to fix Brexit. It, it it's a hilarious irony, really.
Are you sure it's irony and it's not just sheer overwhelming stupidity? Because the leader of the Brexit has now stepped down, like over the weekend. He stepped
Oh,
down,
oh,
which is
all of
amazing.
the political parties are in complete turmoil. It is amazing to watch. No one actually expected for this to happen. And it's the funniest thing ever. Not even the people that wanted it to happen expected it to actually happen. No one had a plan for this. And it is amazing to watch.
It is, and see, like, part is the reaction has been, "Oh well, look at that! Look what we did! We did this! It's amazing! America broke away, and America's cool, and now it's time for Great Britain to do it." No, 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 no. That's
America
not
was
how
not
it works.
cool. America was not cool, as we've discussed previously, for, I don't know, a couple hundred years or so.
I,
Like,
I, I think we said like 180, didn't we?
something like that. Like, at least not until World War One. It took us that long to become cool. I'm proud of America and all she stands for, despite her flaws. But let's be real here, people. America was shit for a very long time. It was shit.
Basically.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess people like to think that America was just left to Great Britain and everything was sunshine and roses and chocolate everywhere, or I don't know. But yeah, that's not how it went down.
So wait, are you saying that there's not chocolate everywhere in America, Nick? Because we have Hershey,
Oh no,
Pennsylvania, and
no,
then
no!
we have the
Now there
Nestle
is chocolate
Corporation,
everywhere.
and and
Now,
and 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 we also have New Orleans.
yes, now there is chocolate everywhere. But there was
You
not
you
chocolate
did
everywhere in the
you didn't
first
get that
day.
joke, Nick. You did not understand the reference I just made.
Did I? No, no, actually I didn't.
I said
I
we have
didn't.
Hershey's and we have
Yeah.
Nestle and we have New Orleans. You know, because Mayor Ray Nagin years ago, after uh, the flooding from Katrina, said he wanted to rebuild New Orleans as a chocolate city, and he was making a racist statement saying it was going to be all black city. But you know, chocolate, you know, being a food, everyone latched onto that, and I have not seen Nestle or Hershey's or anyone else step up and say, "Here you go, brother. Here's some chocolate."
See, I'm pretty sure I don't know that because you're from Texas and you guys hate New Orleans, and I'm from Washington, D.C., and I care nothing about any other place in the country
Well, it
other
was
than,
national
you
news,
know,
Nick. It actually was national news. So,
meh. Anyways. But
speaking of
yeah.
speaking of Washington D.C., is
Well,
there anything interesting going on in D.C. at all?
wait, hold on, one more thing before we go on to um um news. One of the interesting fallouts from Brexit is that the British soccer, rugby, and cricket teams are afraid that it's going to be harder to get European players to come over. And that's
No one gives a
hilarious.
shit about soccer, Nick.
Well, apparently most of the world does,
No
so you're
one.
wrong.
Look, okay, look. If you're going to talk about soccer, that's fine. But here in America, we don't like it. And the brown people from the green parts of not America don't matter. This is America, goddammit.
I'm yeah, that was one of the worst things you have ever said on this show. Go soccer.
Oh, no, it's not.
Look at
No,
that
no, 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 no.
nonsense.
I have said far worse, and I think you and I both know I've said far worse.
You have? I'm surprised that we have not been called by a civil rights organization. Yeah.
But look, okay, look, okay. You're gonna make me talk about sports, aren't you?
Well, I mean, the NBA did die over the weekend, so that's kind of an interesting
Good.
story. I, I don't think a lot of people think that's good, but
I think it's amazing. You know what else I think is amazing? Rio de Janeiro is apparently going to hell, and like there's been uh, man-killing bacteria found in the sand at the beach, and now there's dead fish popping up everywhere. It's like, just look at it. It's coming in like 2 weeks. The Olympics will be here, and I can smell the death.
I don't understand why they didn't hold the Olympics in Washington D.C. Because this was a major story for Washington D.C. a couple years ago. It was down to between us and Rio de Janeiro, and I still don't understand why whoever is on the Olympic Committee picked Rio de Janeiro. It's not a good place to hold the Olympics. It's
Have
not.
you seen the Potomac River anytime soon? That's
The
no.
Potomac River is still in much better condition compared to, what's going on over there. I'm sorry.
Sure. But, okay, look, while we are discussing the Olympics, apparently it was announced today the verdict for Oscar Pistorius. Now, I admit I admit very freely, in fact, I have not been following this with the greatest amount of aptitude in the world. But apparently, well, okay, look, we all know he murdered his wife. Okay, like there's no real way to defend it anymore, even though it was tried 3 years ago. Um, so the defense was that he walked on his non-existent legs and then shot. Like, they even had this man do this shit in court. God damn. Had him walk on his stumps in court just to show he can do it. And, like, that's got to be the most embarrassing thing in the world. Like, they've already found him guilty of murder. Like, they've long since found him guilty, and so they're trying to they're trying to prove that he really is guilty. So they have him like, I just can't imagine that. So anyway, the Blade Runner has now been given like 6 years in prison, and this is not an American prison. This is not one of those, as the saying goes, federal rape me in the ass prisons. No, 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 no. This is not that. This is South Africa, and like, it's actual hard labor. So here he is. He has no legs, and he's going to have to do hard labor. Like, that's his future for the next 6 years.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. If you commit murder, well then, yeah.
Basically. So, I mean, yeah. But like, it's been, like I said, 3 years. Like, the trial's been going on for 3 years. Like, how the hell have y'all not determined his guilt and sentenced him by now? I mean, like, even the O.J. Simpson trial didn't go on this long.
I, see. I should have became a lawyer. That's what I should have became. I would be an excellent defense lawyer. I'd be like Matt Murdock. There we go. Yeah.
I think if I'd ever become a lawyer, ever, or you know what, not even a lawyer, just a juror. And I have been called for a jury duty before. Uh, I kind of was hoping I would get picked because I wanted to pull an Uncle Ruckus and stand up and go, guilty. That nigga is guilty. Hang that nigga right now. I got the rope right here. And if I had been a juror in the Pistorius case, I would have done it. I would have done it. I would have even had the rope with me and said he's guilty. I would have done it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Oscar. You're an amazing runner. You're cool and all, but you murdered your wife.
This is how we get contacted by a civil rights organization, and there's a lynch mob for you. This is how that happens.
I literally have no idea what lynch mob you're talking about. There hadn't been one.
Well, there's going to be one outside your door.
Cool.
This is how it happens. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's if you commit murder, I expect you to go to jail and be punished. That's what I expect. Or anyone
Well, see,
else.
okay, look, if we're going to talk about someone coming to your door and nothing happened, I would probably rather have the FBI come knock on my door rather than a lynch mob.
Why the FBI?
Oh, you didn't know?
Do tell.
You just had absolutely no clue. What happened today, I guess?
I mean, I've heard things.
Oh, okay. If the FBI apparently if the FBI comes and knocks on your door, uh, you now probably won't have a resolution to the issue. But if a lynch mob does, you're pretty much going to be hanged. Anyway, the FBI has released a statement concerning Hillary Clinton's emails, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. Just oh God, this is infuriating. Just a portion of their statement, okay? And it reads, quote, "To be clear, this is not to suggest that in similar circumstances, a person who engaged in this activity would face no consequences. To the contrary, those individuals are often subject to security or administrative sanctions. But that is not what we are deciding now." Sweet baby Jesus.
See,
That is the
I
dumbest fucking thing I've ever read, and I have read some dumb fucking things in my life.
I can sort of understand what they're trying to say, even
There,
though it
look,
sounds.
like there's literally no way to defend this.
No, no, no.
Hillary
Wait,
Clinton's
wait.
going scot free. She's going scot fucking free for
I
deleting
know.
33,000 emails, all of which were marked as, top secret. Like it was government secrets, and they're just fucking gone. Okay, and that's fine if someone wants to say, "Well, here it's okay if she has them on her private server because Colin Powell did it." Sure, Colin Powell did it. A lot of people did it. It wasn't okay when Colin Powell did it. It's not okay for her to have done it, okay? And to me, all of this is, of course, being tied into Benghazi. And we discussed Benghazi on what, fucking Friday, I think. Talked about Trey Gowdy and, like, the ninth goddamn report about this. It's all coming out at the same time. So the Benghazi report has found nothing about her, and the FBI is not going to be investigating anymore because apparently she's able to go free. That is not government transparency to me. That is a government fuck up. She did something wrong. She deserves to be punished. Don't let her run for president. God damn.
But here's the problem that the FBI and the Justice Department faces, and that do they have the right to tell someone that they can't run for president? Because and here's the major problem that they have. If they win, well, okay, let's say they gave her the sanctions that they normally would have gave someone, which would be to remove her security clearance, right? But she goes to run for president. She becomes president. How could you have a president that doesn't have security clearance? Do you see the problem here? And it's a weird problem. And I don't know if we can necessarily give the Department of Justice or the FBI or anyone of that nature the right to keep someone from running for president. I just don't know if that's a good thing. I'm not defending Hillary's actions here at all. I think she was an idiot and did some really, really dumb, stupid stuff. But I don't know if we can give the government that right. It, do you see where I'm coming from here?
I think we ought to give the government that right, and there's a very, very good reason for it, okay? It's the fact that we've already had a Clinton in office. We've already had one in office. We know exactly what happened, okay? We know damn good and well what happened when we had Bill Clinton in office, and that would be overturning Glass-Steagall. Now, I know you are tired of old Glass-Steagall. Whatever, you're an idiot, okay? You're an idiot for saying it. Glass-Steagall regulates banks, okay? That sent to we would have been good for a while. We would have been okay, except for, a year and a half later, 9/11 happened. The financial heart of the world was just kind of ripped out for a while. So no regulation of the banks, and then all the banks are attacked and ruined, and 7 years later we have to bail them out. No, that's not okay. If we had had the regulations there, the banks would have had the fucking money. They would have had the money. You wouldn't have had to bail them out because you wouldn't have had the complete financial collapse of the United States and the world economy. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't.
I don't
I
know,
wouldn't even
but I
blame
mean, like,
9/11 for that.
do what?
I said I wouldn't even blame 9/11 for that. I would blame that all on Glass-Steagall.
It is. But like, what I'm saying is, with Glass-Steagall in effect, it wouldn't have been that bad. Sure, it would have been terrible. You still would have had 3,000 people dead. By the way, 3,000 people died on September 11th, 2001. 4 people were murdered on September 11th, like 2010, 11, whatever it was. Okay? Yeah, 2011, okay? That's the difference between September 11th and Benghazi. It's essentially 1,000 deaths or 1 murder type of situation here. I would rather the 4 people die in Benghazi again and again and again if we can have the 3,000 people back on 9/11. So you want to talk about government fuck-ups. We will talk about 9/11 for 5 seconds here because I have a point I want to make about the colossal fuck-ups we have had in the government, okay? Since we're talking about Hillary, okay? I don't like Hillary Clinton. I kind of like her husband now that he's out of office. I don't like what they did. But what infuriates me is the 8 years that we had between Clinton and then Obama, in which we had 3,000 people die on a single day because a memo was ignored for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We invaded Iraq, we invaded Afghanistan, and we killed, I think the estimate currently is like 1.5 million people. 1.5 million people, all because of money. That's a war crime. Now, of course, under Obama, we have kind of fucked that up because we've killed, I don't know how many people we have killed with drone strikes. We can't even see them, but we know we have killed a lot of innocent people. So that's a government fuck up right there. And Hillary Clinton, she supported the war in Iraq. Okay, she was entirely in favor of that because Saddam Hussein was a terrible person. Now I agree. Now hang on. Now I agree. I agree.
Kind of caused the civil war in Syria, and
Yeah. Now see, here's the thing. I agree. I absolutely agree. Saddam Hussein was a bad person. But look at the Middle East after that fuck up. Look at what happened. Just look what we got. We got ISIS. Okay. Over the weekend, ISIS killed some 300 some odd people in different attacks in different parts of the world. Okay? You have some asshole in Orlando, Florida claiming allegiance to them. Now, they haven't backed him up on this, but claiming to 50 people in Orlando, it's insanity. It's insanity. And this is what happens when you elect people who go around fucking up with other people, okay? So Hillary Clinton deletes all these secret emails. Her husband is kind of responsible for the financial collapse. She's responsible for the housing collapse and everything else. We don't need the bitch in office, okay? And as much as I don't want Trump in office, I still would rather vote for Hillary. And that's what scares me. She actually has political experience, okay? Actual political experience versus someone who has declared bankruptcy on companies 4 times and has never managed to accomplish anything in his life. I would rather have the political experience, no matter how bad it is, run the country. And that terrifies me. That terrifies me. I am so happy that I already voted for Bernie. I am so happy. He might not be on the ticket in November, and if he's not, I'll flip a coin because I'm sorry, Clinton and Trump are the same goddamn thing to me. But that's the future that we're headed into. That's the future. So if you want to avoid that future, you need at some point in time to say, look, this is okay, this is not okay. Deleting 33,000 emails is not okay when they're government-related emails. They shouldn't have been on your private server. The FBI should not be picking sides here. No, just let's just kind of build a time machine and unfuck the last 15 years of our country and go back and fix all this shit because I don't know the world we're living in anymore. And I honestly think, and I actually want to expound on this thought later, I could do a whole show off of what I'm supposed to say here. I think that's why it is Generation X and the older millennials. I think that's why we are so fond of remembering our childhood because it's been fucked up.
Yeah. Also, I believe this is your campaign speech to promote me for president later on.
Robots can't be president, Nick.
I'm not a damn robot, and
You have to be naturally born, and you're not. You were built.
You would vote the hell. You would vote for me in a second, and you know it.
I probably would. I probably would. And, okay, look. I know we have a tradition of ending the show on depressing things, because it's the end of the show, and, like, we're like 15 minutes away from being, like, we're 45 minutes into the show, and god damn. Okay, I want to talk about this, because it's important, okay? I have a neighbor who is a police officer, and yes, this is entirely unrelated to anything else, and I'm hijacking this just to make this point. Okay, my neighbor is a police officer, and we were talking yesterday because she and her husband are going out of town here in a couple days, and they want me to take care of their dogs for them. I can do that; it's fine. Anyway, she's a police officer. She tried to become a state trooper, and she could not finish the exam because she got hurt. And now she's looking for another job because she does not want to be in law enforcement anymore. Okay? This is a black woman in law enforcement who wants to step out because she realizes that law enforcement is, in her words, a dying breed. Law enforcement has gone to shit, apparently. No one likes police officers, and there's been a lot of effort, especially like here in my town. Our police chief has made a huge effort to get people on board with liking our police. Like, he has done a complete overhaul, and I cannot stop praising this man for it, okay? But we had a city commissioner recently who stood up and said some very, very, very negative things about our police department, about how they over-police and everything. And now I have spoken to this commissioner several times, and I understand why he's saying it. I empathize with this man for what he has said, okay? Essentially, he wants to avoid stuff like what happened in Ferguson here where we live, okay? And I understand that. I get that. I'm all in favor of that. But what he did was he played the race card, okay? So we have a black commissioner who's against the police, and my neighbor is a black woman who is a member of the police, and she's willing to step away. We live in a world right now where that shouldn't be happening, okay? But it's happening because, I believe it was yesterday when this took place, a black man in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was... I don't want to use this word, but it's the only accurate word I can give you, was executed by the police. Now, I have watched the video. I've watched the cell phone video. I have read what the police had to say, and there was a second cell phone video that hadn't been made that public until like an hour or so ago. And I have seen Alton Sterling die. Okay, I'll just get that in the open right now. The second video is, you don't have to see him being shot. You do see him dying. You do see the blood splatter. You do see the police officers rolling off of him. Okay? But the whole struggle is there. And I have a problem with this. Because the narrative, like the established narrative from the police officers, i.e. the people that we are supposed to trust, is that Alton Sterling had a gun and he was trying to resist arrest. Okay? None of the eyewitnesses saw it that way. None of the cell phone videos show it that way. The cell phone videos show him on the ground, the police officers trying to roll him over, the camera drops, and then the shots. Okay, now keep in mind, this officer, the one who was closest to the camera, already had his gun drawn and pointed at Mr. Sterling's chest. So the gunshots happen. Then you hear he's got a gun, and then get on the ground. Okay, but the next time you see the police officer, he's rolling off at the top of Mr. Sterling, and it's it's something that's not going to get out of my head. Okay, but
I'm actually seeing a much better shot of what happened, and it showed the entire thing the whole way through, and it he um he pulls the gun on him, tells him if he keeps moving he'll kill him, and he, I don't know what was happening exactly with the other officer on top of him, but he just basically starts shooting him. He just basically starts shooting him, rolls off of him, and then says, "Get on the ground, stop moving."
now see, okay, the thing
While
is,
there's blood pouring out of his chest.
okay, the thing is, like my whole point for bringing this up is I don't want anyone who watches the show to think that I'm anti-police. Okay, I trust my police department. I trust them implicitly. These people are literally the thin. Like now I know this is kind of a saying, but they are the thin blue line. Okay, in Orlando a couple weeks ago, it was the police officers who engaged the terrorist who was shooting people. Okay, 11 officers were in a shootout with this man, and we post, or rather, I posted to our Facebook page, uh, like the day it happened, an image of one of the police officers' helmets. Okay, so please don't think that I am anti-police. I just have an immense problem with the Alton Sterling story. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable. Um, the
It's
reason it
I
does
think
is because none of it is what the officers are saying happened, and like it's kind of okay. It's kind of like for me being an atheist, having a conversation with someone who's a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or whatever, and they're saying, well, it's written in a book, and the book it's an old book. It's like, look, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Here's all of my evidence that counters that. Well, it's in a 5,000-year-old book. Okay, like it's that kind of discussion to me, and it makes me physically uncomfortable and emotionally uncomfortable that this man is gone, and evidently he was killed. I just it's weird. It's weird that that's the world we live in. That people are being killed and someone's lying about it. But we're but
I want to put it like this. I trust police officers, and I do. I trust police officers. I think they do a great job usually, and they're brave men and women, and they do their best for the most part. But every time that someone is killed or murdered and very questionable circumstances, although I wouldn't even call these questionable circumstances, this looked more or less like straight up murder to me. Um, if this officer is not found guilty of murder, there are very serious problems going on. I understand that police officers want to protect their own, that they have a hard job and a stressful job and things like that. But when someone screws up like this, they need to be held to the law. Police officers are not above the law, and that's what too many people think. That's what too many people believe, and there's too much evidence to not argue that. It's happened too many times, and I would say 99.5 0.5% of police officers do a hell of a job and do it the best they can and make our communities and our country a better place. But you can't hide the 0.5% that don't do their job well, that abuse their power, that hurt people. They need to be held to the letter of the law. They need to be put in jail. They need to be punished properly. If you do that, you will gain the trust of the community back. If you hold these officers accountable, you will restore so much confidence into everyone. And that needs to happen. It really needs to happen.
It like I said, it just it bothers me. You know, it really makes me uncomfortable.
This
And
man was murdered. He was straight up murdered. I don't care if he's struggling on the ground. He's pinned to the ground. There's another officer right on top of him. There is no way he's going to overpower you or any real threat to you. There was no reason to pull the gun out. There was no reason to shoot him.
no, like I'm sorry, I'm sorry. There's none. Now, see, here's the thing. It's it makes me think of Eric Garner in New York. You know, the man who was selling single cigarettes, who was choked to death on a street in the middle of the afternoon in New York City in front of a store, and it was caught on film. The defense was there was no defense. There wasn't anything. There was no reason for him to have been choked to death. There's no reason for Alton Sterling to have been shot in the heart by someone on top of him. Okay, it's 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 like living in a twilight zone, because there are people who are trying to defend the police officers, and I understand wanting to defend them. Believe me, I do. I want very much to say that Alton Sterling had a gun and he was trying to resist arrest and trying to kill the officers. I want very much to say that. I would love to say that, but I can't. I can't. I can't say it. I can't make myself say that's what happened, because the video evidence doesn't show that. It's just like Eric Garner. Well, he was resisting arrest. The officer who choked him jumped on his back, and they drug him to the ground. And that was when he started saying, "I can't breathe." You know, that's where that comes from. Okay. He wasn't resisting arrest. He didn't want to be arrested because he wanted to know why he was being arrested to begin with, so they jump on him. This man's already on the ground. For God's sake, he's already on the ground. There was a girl not too far from here, like maybe like the next town over, who was shot by police because this girl had mental health issues, and she had gone to the police department trying to seek help because she felt like she was going to kill herself. So she goes in there. The officers come help her. You know, she kind of went crazy for a little bit and tried to attack them. They pinned her down and called for backup. By the time the backup gets there, by the time the third officer gets there, they have gotten off the girl, let her get up. So she gets up, and then she pulls a knife out of her coat, and then they kill her. Okay? They've already tried tasing her and everything else. They were already on top of her. They let her get up. No. There's something wrong with that scenario. There's something wrong with the scenario of Eric Garner. There's something definitely wrong with the scenario of Alton Sterling. And I have a difficult time understanding why someone would say, well, he deserved it. No, I don't know anyone who deserves being shot in the heart by someone who is, you know, kneeling over them. I just, it's weird, and it's like living in a twilight zone. And I think finally I understand the verse in the book of Matthew where Jesus, like when he dies, like his final words, which by the way in Matthew and Luke are different. Okay, but I finally understand the Aramaic phrase here. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. I finally understand. Like I finally get that phrase. And for those wondering, it means my God, why have you forsaken me? I get that. Like that's the world we live in right now. Is you could use that phrase every day and it would describe society right now.
It's just, it's so hard to watch things like that. And to know that that police officer could get off scot-free. Because we've seen police officers in fairly obvious situations before get off scot-free. And, I mean, it's... There needs to be accountability held. There needs to be punishment. The law cannot work if the law does not obey the law. That's just how it, just how things work. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. And too many times we see the law, the ones upholding the law are not obeying the law. And unless we see that happening, I'm sorry, but with the age we live in, where we can see every story from every part of the country now, you can't hide this anymore. It's not something that can be overlooked, and people are just going to ignore it. We see video after video after video of very questionable things happening. Some of them I can understand why the officers might have drawn their guns and shot, and some of them I just can't. And this is a story where I really don't understand why. There's no reason. There's none. I'm sorry. And like I said, I support police officers. I support what they do. But that police officer should be on trial and in jail for murder. And that's all there really is to it.
It's fucked up, and it's like it, you could listen to this show we did today, starting at the end and go back to the beginning, and like just the. I think the phrase here is the arc of history. Yeah. The arc of history is long, and it's weird. Like we have to be living in some kind of twilight zone, and I think that's why. Um, happy note, happy note, happy note. Okay, uh, and the happy note is that a month from now, Suicide Squad comes out. So we're gonna have a movie about uh, the villains being the good guys now, I guess. So that's what we're looking at, is the villains being the good guys.
I mean, things like this are why we have things like Suicide Squad or so many anti heroes in the Marvel comics or things like that. It's just they're reflections of the failures of our society. I'll put it like that.
So you're saying that Suicide Squad is inaccurate?
No, I'm saying Suicide Squad is accurate. It's real.
It would be nice, but that's
Batman is real, and you know it.
I know because I'm Batman.
Yes. And I'm Spider Man.
You are not a 17-year-old kid. I'm sorry.
I'm older Spider Man who, for some reason, wished away his wife in one of the stupidest goddamn comics ever. Fuck you, Marvel. Fuck you, Marvel Comics.
Oh my, oh, that reminds me, Friday, or whenever, like sometime soon, I have so many angry things to say about Marvel. So many, and surprisingly, it's not that they're stupid for having a new Iron Man, because we're having a new Iron Man. It's for other reasons. Anyway, we're at like the hour mark, so I
Did they release the second Captain America and that weird Captain America?
yeah, but
Did it get
we'll
any
talk.
better or is it worse?
We'll talk about it later, I think, because
I
I
need to know these things.
no,
Damn.
I'm not gonna tell you anything. We'll talk about it later, I think.
Alright.
Oh, goddamn. Okay, hopefully this week does not go to shit before Friday. Anyway, it already
It will.
has. It already has. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It already has. But you know,
Yeah.
goddamn it. Anyway, okay. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like it, comment on it, share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. Um, I don't know what else positive to say, Nick. I'm kind of sad now.
The Olympics are coming.
Oh God.
For malaria and death.
No, wait. I do know what to say. Eloi, lama, sabachthani.
What does that mean?
I literally just explained this. That's the last thing Jesus said. Where have you been?
I've been thinking about sad things.
It means, my God, why have you forsaken? Oh, jeez. Okay. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today, I think, Nick.
I'm too sad to say goodbye. I'm too sad.
Well, you're gonna have to say something, because we're gonna talk to everybody on Friday, which is it's only a day away.
Well, it's 2 days away.
Shut the fuck up, Nick. It's a day away.
You can't count.
Let's look. Okay.
Do we need to go Sesame Street on here?
From midnight tonight until midnight Friday, that's only 24 hours. That is a day. It is a day away, Nick. It's a day.
But it's not midnight yet.
Shut the fuck up, you robot.
I'm not a robot.
You're a robot. Anyway, like I said, please remember to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, like us on Facebook, like us everywhere, and eventually, still working on the new outlet for the show. Anyway, we'll talk to all of you Friday.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.